Hi, my name is Kofi. I'm a crypto data scientist and I work on BundleBear, which is an open source database and dashboard tracking the adoption of ERC-4337 wallets. It just shows people who are building in the space, whether that's apps or bundlers or paymasters, what people are doing on chain, who has the most market share on the infra side of things, and gives them insights that they can use to improve the work that they're doing. So analyzing AA wallets is a lot different from analyzing the normal standard EOA wallets. With 4337 specifically, you get users making something that's called user operations instead of normal transactions. So these are pseudo transactions that get bundled into bundles made to the entry point. And so a lot of the work is one, teasing out all of the user operations from those bundles and checking which account sent them and what wallet or what app they were trying to interact with, doing lots of labeling work to figure out what infrastructure belongs to who and which wallets belong to who. And there's just a lot more interpretation, a lot more labeling, a lot more analysis that has to be done to figure out what's really happening compared to if you're looking at normal EOA wallets. Yeah, so working on BundleBear, a lot of the feedback that I get is from people who just want more insights. So people want a deeper look into which accounts have valuable activity compared to which accounts are just spam or bots, which apps are leading in usage and why. And so what I'm trying to do is to just add more and more layers of insight onto the raw data so that folk can really understand the landscape and make the best decisions that they can make according to that. And just try and be a good supporting actor to all of the amazing teams that are building in this space. So there are a few other data resources that are working in the ERC-4337 space. I think the difference with BundleBear is that BundleBear really focuses on interpretation rather than just surfacing user ops on different chains. So I work on, visualizing insights. I have a point of view on what is important to look at. And I think that BundleBear really focuses on being the human readable side of like ERC-4337 data and giving people the answers that they want rather than just providing an Etherscan like experience that's showing raw data. So what's unique about BundleBear is that BundleBear has a few different pages that show unique insights on different sides of the space. So there's the infra side, where BundleBear gives insights into which paymasters have the most market share and how much they are paying to sponsor different apps, and going down the sort of levels of interpretation of what the paymasters are doing, as well as bundlers, how active they are, how much revenue they're making on chain. So on the infra side of things, there's a lot of insight into how infra players are doing. But there's also a lot of data on the user activity side. So when you say that we have, millions of dollars of active smart accounts a month, people want to know what apps they're using and what wallet apps those users are interacting with the chain through. So there's a whole other set of data and insights around which apps are most popular and how that trend changes over time, so that teams who are working in the space can figure out where they should focus their efforts, whether right now social apps are the hot thing for smart accounts, whether it's gaming, and how that changes. I think that when it comes to the user experience of apps, the innovation that matters the most is really how we handle authentication. Because, up until this point, millions of people in the space have been using EOAs that require them to store C phrases. And the fact of the matter is that most people just aren't security experts and they store their seed phrases badly. People put pictures of seed phrases they've written down in Google Drive and such. And there's a lot of ways to lose money. And there's never really been a solution around that, because that's something that's hard-coded into the system, into the native accounts of the EVM. But now with smart accounts, we have a chance to figure out a better way to do things, to offer people types of authentication that are harder to mess up than the seed phrase and easier to use than the seed phrase. Something that I've been seeing recently in the data that's really exciting is that with a lot of the newer apps and newer infrastructure providers that are coming into the smart account space, passkeys are very popular. Passkeys basically being a system where the private key is stored in the secure enclave of your device you already have, whether that's your iPhone, Android phone, whatever it is, and people can sign in with their fingerprint, Face ID, and all of that. And I don't know whether or not passkeys will be the final endpoint of the most popular type of authentication for smart accounts. BundleBear will be a good place to check the data for that. But I'm excited that people are actually trying new solutions. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the endpoint of that is. I think that there's a special place in the Ethereum ecosystem for data dashboards. I mean, we are a decentralized space where, capital and like talent flows to all of these different areas. And it's good to have neutral actors watching what's going on to help people make decisions about where those resources should flow. And there are really great examples of that. So, we have L2Beat, which everybody loves, showing which L2s are further along the scope of decentralization and what their metrics look like. We have DeFi Llama for DeFi apps, and even more. DeFi Llama does a lot. And I really just trying to build a smaller version of that for smart accounts, being like a source of truth so that people can understand which actors are performing the best and how they're performing the best, so that, so that usage and resources can flow to the places where it will best be helpful. It's been great working together with a lot of different actors in the smart account space. One of the main things that BundleBear needs from partners is labels on who owns which addresses for bundlers and paymasters and other pieces of infrastructure, apps as well. And it's been great to see that a lot of teams in the space have been like really forthcoming and really helpful in sharing that information about what they own and where it is, so that that can go into the tracking and give everybody a better idea of what's going on. I mean, in other categories, for instance, people trying to do analysis on centralized exchanges, folk are a little bit more cagey about sharing inside information about how things work. So yeah, I've been really grateful that in the smart account space, everybody's been super open about sharing the information that they have, so that we can have a better resource to work with. The best resources that we have for learning about building in smart accounts right now are somewhat undocumented. I think that I've learned the most from hanging out in communities like the 4337 Mafia and other groups where builders are coming together to share insights that they have and issues that they have with what they're working on. I mean, of course, companies like Pimlico and Biconomy and so on have really great documentation for getting started. But if I was working as a builder rather than as a data analyst, the first thing I would do would be to run to find the best community that I could join, to start having those conversations with people and building those connections. Because it's hard to make stuff alone. It's good to have a network of folk who are working on the same issues, especially when you're in a space that's as new as this. There are so many issues that smart account providers are going to face that just nobody has worked on before, and so there aren't any resources for, and we need to make those resources. So yeah, I think that community is the best answer. The thing that I'm most looking forward to is seeing the smart account app space become more anti-fragile. What I mean by that is that right now, 4337 usage is super spiky and fragile, in the sense of we see a lot of trends where one app that has a lot of low-value users takes up the majority of market share, and then after a airdrop or some liquidity event like that drops off and is replaced by another. So last year, when ERC-4337 first launched, there was a lot of usage around people airdrop farming apps like CyberConnect and FanTV. And then this year, there was a migration to people farming AnyChess, and now people farming other apps like, there's this Earnum app. And That's good in some ways because it spreads awareness, it pumps the metrics a little bit. But what I'd really want to see is to see a cohort of apps that people aren't using just to airdrop farm, but that are getting consistent usage over time, healthy usage with strong retention. And, we'll be able to see that in the charts so that I can really say that if there are 1 million active smart accounts this month, that those are accounts that are definitely going to come back in the future and that are really getting value out of the ecosystem. So that's what I want to see the most. Right now, the numbers look good. The growth has been good, but I want the fundamentals to be better in terms of having a greater, a more distributed cohort of killer apps that have strong retention.